tonight's episode of Coach's Corner. As always, I'm Rick Russell alongside head coach Jonathan Calder. Coach, great win last week.
Thank you.
We'll touch base on that here in a bit. Got 6-1 Toronto Red Knights tomorrow night. Coming off their first loss of the season, so they're going to be hungry. Also, we'll have a couple of Seminole football players on board with us this evening. Really looking forward to tonight's show. But before we dive too quick into that, Coach, let's talk about last week's win against Shenandoah. You know, they came in here 3-3. They'd won 3 consecutive games, and we were kind of worried about the quarterback being quick and shifty and elusive. We did a great job of maintaining, keeping him inside the tackles. He completed only a few passes all game long, so pretty impressive performance. Held them to under 200 yards, which is awesome, and we nearly clipped the 400-yard mark total offense. So things are clicking, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, we knew kind of coming into the game, at least I thought that we would be able to run the ball. Because honestly, they were the smallest Shenandoah team. We mentioned that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Had a lot, but they were quick. You know, I wasn't sure how they would play, but I thought we could line up and run straight at them, which that's kind of what we did there. We had a couple 100-yard rushers in Cooper and AJ. He threw the ball, I think, for a little bit over 100 yards. So overall, offensively, I thought we looked good. Kind of same thing Magnolia, kind of doing a little bit of both, a little bit of play action, a little bit of run, throws. So thought we looked good offensively, defensively, really good. I mean, I think they had under 100 yards rushing, which kind of surprised me because that's what I was worried about more than anything was that running back was pretty shifty and the quarterback. So held them under 100 yards rushing, 200 yards total offense, so that was pretty good. And kicking, I mean, White nailed every extra point. Had a nice touchback. We had one mud up there in the beginning. It seems like every other game we can get that, but overall I thought it was just an overall good win for us. Kind of gets us the momentum going now, and I'd like to also point out you saw the black helmets, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a nice thing to do. I'd like to thank. There's too many people.
So many people.
Yeah, it's not just business. It's people, because we had people sponsor like a Fill My Helmet thing for all the kids. So, you're talking probably over 100 people sponsoring those helmets. So they made that possible. That's something big for us. We're going to wear those on special games, maybe one more time this year. But really liked the black and the black. Thought that looked pretty good. So. Kids were pretty fired up about that. That's the first time we wore them, so that they were pretty happy coming out in those. I think the crowd liked it too.
Yeah. I guess, excuse me, you think about this program and what these kids have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not, I don't think there's a team in the Valley, I may be wrong, but have 4 full sets of uniforms.
Jerseys and pants, 4 different colors.
4 different colors. And now we have two houses.
I mean, I don't know if there is, and kudos to them if they do. And that's all credit to the sideliners, the kids, the community in a whole, helping these kids out. And really, anytime we do a fundraiser, there's always people willing to help out or buy things from the kids. I tell them that all the time. If you put your jersey on, you go door to door, you're more likely going to sell something at every door you go to. So, but kudos to the community for stepping up and able to wear those things. Because like I said, those are going to be special games only, big games. And I thought it looked pretty sharp.
Yeah, the people in this community care for these kids and this program, and it's exceptional. It's been this way for years upon years. Just the support that the community gives this football program. So, truly appreciate that. We had a couple of large donors too. Mm-hmm. You know who you are.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, and thanks to everyone for making this happen, because it's all for the kids. These kids love this program. They love each other. It's one giant family in here. It takes a special kid to step foot in this field house and sacrificed their summer and put in all the work, and it's truly a blessing to myself to be a part of this. It's been around for a long, long time, and I have no intentions of walking away from it, Coach. It's great. It's awesome.
Thank you.
For sure. But once again, thanks everyone. Let's take a short break, and when we return, we'll be back with our first guest of the evening, Corbin Farnsworth. Welcome back to the show, everyone. We're here with our first guest of the evening, number 42, Corbin Farnsworth. Corbin, welcome to the show, bud.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Hey, I know it's been tough for you this year. You had a ton of success last year, offensively and defensively, and you've had some this year. Not what you had last year, and a lot of that's due to these other teams watching game film, and that week one against Liberty Union. They knew nothing about us, we knew nothing about them, but all game long, offensively and defensively, they were yelling out 42. 42's here, 42's there, shade 42, cover 42, all game long. So, and it worked somewhat, and every team's kind of followed suit to do that. You're one of the best athletes on the team. Score a lot of points, you can do whatever you want when you got the ball in your hand, but it's just been kind of difficult to get to you because of that. But last year you set the all-time sack record too, which is pretty impressive for first year playing. Absolutely. And here again, the same thing. They watch film from last year and catch on to you, and double team you defensively as well. Can you touch base on what you see week in and week out there as far as double coverage?
Some teams are a bit different. Every team has different strategies, but you just got to adjust mid-game just most of the time and figure out what works, and different play calls help, and whatever works, you just got to keep after it and just keep playing like that.
Yeah. Kind of brings me to my next question. I've seen some new wrinkles last week against Shenandoah early, and I talked to Coach about those after the game, and he said you guys had them in place for a couple of weeks, but just finding the right personnel to put them in. I know you and Max are Cooper's favorite targets, and Coop's come a long, long way from at the quarterback position. Last week he was 11 of 12, which is pretty impressive. To complete 11 of 12 passes for 133 yards, and you had 4 of those catches for 55 yards. And like I said, I know it's been frustrating with the double coverage, but last year Tucker was your quarterback, and you had another weapon out there in Chance, and that kind of opened you up as well. But how have you acquainted so far this year to your new quarterback?
Yeah, I think over the weeks got better. Cooper had big shoes to fill from last year, but I think over the weeks he got better, and we're starting to find stuff that works, I think, and he's starting to be more comfortable in what he's doing, and we're starting to click more with everybody, with Gabe and stuff. It's starting to work better with everybody. So
yeah, we have some confidence now after 2 straight wins, and looked pretty darn good. I mean, we got things cut out for us tomorrow night against Toronto, but we'll see what that brings. But defensively, consistently every week you're at the 7, 8, 9 tackles a week. You'll see out of the last 3 weeks you've had 4 pass deflections. That helps tremendously. Getting that stop of pass deflection. I know last week we had some concerns with our quarterback because he was a real shifty kid, small, kind of hard to see back there behind his line, but he had some moves and he was quick. And I think we did a heck of a job containing and keeping him inside the tackles. Held the whole team to less than 200 yards offense, which is pretty impressive. So give us your thoughts on your performance and the entire defense last week.
Yeah, I think we did pretty good last week. We fired out better, I thought. Stopped the run decently. You know, and he was a little quicker, but that's what most teams do have a shifty quarterback. That's what we got to adjust to. So I think we did all right.
Yeah, did tremendous. I mean, to keep him less than 200 yards total offense is pretty impressive. I've brought this question up a few different times to other players that have been on the show, but you know, a lot of people forget about the fact that we lost our 13 seniors last year. We can't dwell on that. We're not the only team in the valley, only team in the state that's lost seniors, but you know, we've had some kids step up. You know, Brady Waker, first year playing, was doing a fabulous job on both sides of the ball. And Max has come a long way. I mean, Max was a great receiver last year, and this year he you know, a few moves he put on some kids down there at the river, and he looks pretty impressive as well, returning punts. And then we added a few different kids from Beltsville, like you mentioned, Dave Ing. Dave's been a big help on both sides of the football. He's a pretty talented kid, just kind of getting acquainted to this program and our game plan, our schemes. And Dave's done an awesome job as well. So, you know, I know 3 and 4 isn't where we want to be, but these last 2 weeks we've gained some confidence for certain as a team, and man, we look so much better. We look like a totally different team. So, explain to me what's the difference in this year's team from last year's team?
I think we had played a lot different from last year because we lost so much, but we had players step up. I mean, Drew and Baker, they stepped up.
Yeah, forgot about Drew. Drew's doing fabulous too.
And then Gabe and Max, they really stepped up good, but we're starting to play good together because we never played together before, really. So just so we keep it up, and these next couple games we got to play good so we can get some wins.
Yeah. Tomorrow night will be a giant win.
Yeah.
You know, Toronto's coming in 6-1. They lost their first game to Tussle last week, but be big as far as playoff hopes. You know, if we can pull this one off, they currently sit at number 11 in our region. We could really shake up that whole region if we could pull off the win tomorrow night for certain. So, what do you think we have to do as a team tomorrow to make that happen?
I think we've got to stop the run first off. They do have a pretty good quarterback, but if we can pressure him fast enough, I don't think he normally gets pressure a lot. So if we can do that and make him uncomfortable, we can cause some havoc, I think, and stuff will lean on that, and hopefully make plays. And on offense, we can make some big plays and block well, score some points.
Yeah. Coach and I talked earlier too. It kind of seems maybe where, I mean, I know Owen's gone for the season, but you know, Ashton's been favoring his foot. Hasn't been able to play as often as we need him to. But it seems maybe we're back to 100%, hopefully. And great game to be there, you know. Mr. Roman. Coach, you got anything to add on forward?
Yeah, you know, we could sit here and talk probably for 2 hours about this season last year, and honestly, this whole entire year last year, you know, coming in and 17 sacks and winning the state championship basketball. So, you know, just amazing year from him. But this year, he's one of the few kids that are playing the same position as they did last year. I mean, you know, we've talked many times about that experience on this team. He's one of the few kids he played tight end and defensive end last year. He's still back at that spot this year. But honestly, we could probably put him in literally any position. I'm talking guard, tackle. That's just the kind of kid he is, just because he's so strong and talented and athletic. He could probably play any position on it. Can you throw the ball?
All right.
Okay. See, he can play quarterback. But I'm serious about that. He could probably play about any position. So we knew coming in the year, we wanted to get him the ball. So we put him in some different spots and tried to do some things with that. And when he gets the ball in his hands, he's dangerous. I mean, when he gets to full speed, there's not too many people that catch him, at least on our team. So I haven't seen anyone catch him on the other team as well. But a heck of an athlete. You can watch him play defensive end, and he's learned a little spin move inside and things like that, and even the stutter step outside, come back in. I think he had a sack over that last week or this past week in Shenandoah. So, you know, it's things he's learned it's like I said, he's only played football really 1 year, so. But you can see him getting better each and every week, and he's only a junior, so we got him another year. But yeah, just a great athlete, and then when he is in the locker room, he doesn't talk a lot, he doesn't really say anything, but he does always have a big smile on his face, joking around with all the guys, and he talks to everybody. It doesn't matter, what where you come from, what you're doing. He's always talking to different guys, laughing, joking. So good locker room guy as well. But yeah, just an athletic kid that really do a lot, and we're looking forward to getting the ball in his hands some more. We've seen a few touchdowns here in the past few weeks and doing some things, getting the ball in his hands quick and letting him do the rest. So that's what we've tried to do really all year, and just
it's been tough.
It's been tough, and like I said, it's the inexperience on certain positions and things like that. He talked about him and Cooper having a better relationship as the year went on, as far as passing the ball and things like that. That'll come along. So you can see that here lately. So hoping to build off that, and hoping to get him ball. Saw him kickoff even a couple times. So yeah, so just the ball in his hands. That's what we want. I mean, when you got an athlete on the team, that's what you want to do. So look forward to seeing the rest of the year and even next year.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up, Coach. I mean, this group of juniors with Gordon and Max and Cooper and Ashton, and what a group next year.
Oh yeah.
We're not writing this season off, I know.
Nah,
be a blast next year as well.
Yeah, it's a great class of kids, and they take coaching well and things like that. So we're not writing this season off, but always look forward to those classes when they're seniors and things like that.
One thing that stands out too with that group I just mentioned is their parents are always pushing.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they get pushed in here, and then they get pushed at home.
100%.
Do things better, do the right things.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Well, listen, Corbin, appreciate having you on the show, taking time out of your evening. Probably get home and do a little homework now, or probably
No problem.
feed cat and stuff.
You gotta wake up 5 in the morning and do
Maybe I think your dad's got all that taken care of.
That's what I'd say.
Hopefully. All right, buddy. Thanks again, man, for being on the show. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll be back with our second guest of the evening, A.J. Rudder. Welcome back to the show, everyone. We're here with our second guest of the evening, A.J. Rudder. Sorry for the long commercial break. A.J. was taking a nap in Coach's office, so we had to wake him up.
Hard practices, they didn't get you.
A.J., we had a great performance as a team on the ground last week, 233 yards total on the ground, and you had 109 of those. Same things are clicking here these past couple of weeks offensively. Looks like a totally different team from the early part of the season. So what made things work last Friday night?
Oh, the line got, a push off the line, we had that really all year, I don't think, a couple of times, but they were doing their job, driving guys back. It makes my job a lot easier. I ain't getting touched for the first couple of yards. And of course, Coach Carter and Coach Nixon call my number, that helps a lot too, getting those opportunities, and once they knew I was getting going, they just kept giving the ball, and I ended up with over 100 yards. So.
Yeah, I think you had 16 carries on the night, I believe, 109 yards.
About 700 carry right there.
Pretty darn good. Hey, see it?
Shout out to Coach Shield.
AJ, what I've seen the last 4, you do the little things that matter on this football team. You have for the last 4 years, and on special teams, a lot of times special teams gets overlooked. And I kind of made a little push to get you on here after the Barnesville game. Nothing to brag about. They kicked off to us 8 times that game. That's gone. But you returned all 8 of those, I believe. I had to look back through my stats, but so you had 184 return yards against Barnesville, which is pretty impressive against a team of that caliber. And that's averaging 23 yards a return.
That's right.
Very, very impressive. Can you touch base on your involvement in the return game?
Yeah, I've always loved returning kicks. It's just, I don't know, I just think it's fun, because it's just, as soon as like one step and you're almost gone. Well, unless you're me, you get hawked down every time. But I almost had that one, and then, kicker ruined that. But, I told him, I ain't getting, if it's 4 and in, it's a house call. But, yeah, I've always, special teams is very important because, if you stop on defense and you punt return every time, you're scoring more points than them. And like you said, they get overlooked a lot, but like if you pay attention to it and you actually work on it, then it's very rewarding.
Yeah, it's special teams is very big, especially kickoff return and kickoff team. 'Cause it's a couple of years ago we really struggled to get a kickoff past the 50. Yeah, I remember that. That's when Wyatt kicked that into the end zone. I went up to him and said, "Hey, you don't know how big that is."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in high school too.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often.
Yeah, that's a touchback. So it's a big deal. You typically, I've noticed the high school kicker kicks 45 to 50 yards.
Yeah.
You catch the ball on a 10, 50-yard kickoff and return it 23 yards, and all of a sudden, you're on 33. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we haven't had that luxury in a couple of years. So great job on special teams for certain. You've always been a team player. Kind of touch base on you doing the little things. You've always done the little things. You've always been a team player. And this year we're kind of faced with some injuries, some new kids. We had some holes to fill. We lost 13 seniors. So, there's times I look out there and we have 3 freshmen on defense. And that's a lot to handle for those guys, coming out of junior high and the speed of the game, the size of the kids. But as a senior, I'm sure you've done your best to point those freshmen, and even the new players, like Braden and Amy came from a different program. As a senior, I got to think you've had some influence on them, kind of pointing them in the right direction.
Yeah, I remember being in their shoes. I ended up starting early as a freshman, and it was a very big learning curve for me. It was like a new defense every week, new spots every week, and using that knowledge that I ended up learning the hard way, I try to help them not have to learn it the hard way, and also to help benefit them and us. That way, next year, they kind of remember the things I taught them on top of the things Coach Shoes teaching them, and they put it together a lot quicker than what I was able to put them together.
Yeah. We got jersey kids got on face masks and stuff all over.
Well, that's a good thing we give them senior jerseys.
Breaking tackles.
That's 4 years of football right there.
That is,
Shoulders.
100%. Well, he was 5 as freshman.
Yeah.
I always forget that. I always watch. I'll see a film. I'm like, who the heck is number 5? I'm like, oh, that's AJ.
Oh,
That's even more impressive. 3 years.
Jose had 24.
Yeah, that's only 3 years of that.
The thing is, I tore a jersey every year.
Yeah.
Freshman year, that number 5 jersey was tore, 24 was tore, every single year.
You tore your pants.
I tore my pants.
It was Magnolia.
Yeah. And it was a big one too. My mom got a picture of it. It's pretty bad.
Old girls. That's all you can see.
All Coach Longroy like, hey, let's hang out. It's like, it's just for you, Coach, don't worry.
Like we said, AJ, it seems like you've been around here forever. You've been here for quite some time. For 4 years, we've heard your name on the PA system on Friday nights and what have you. Talk about some of the memories you've made and how you want to leave your mark here on this program.
And there's a ton of memories, there really is. I still remember his first year. There was a lot of fun in this locker room, all the time, not even just on Fridays. But, guys like Dalton Phillips, just guys that you think back and you just remember in the huddle, like a joke's been said, and it's just like those little things that people don't think about. They just think you just get to play in and break the huddle.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be something like during the like, man, I pancaked that guy, and you just they're having a time, okay, play's coming in, Those little things, and when you just goof around too. Like this, honestly, like today at practice, it was a very fun day at practice, and we were just having a good old time. It was just those little things that I know I'm gonna miss, and people, that don't play, they have no idea. A football locker room is second to none. Like nobody knows what it's like. You got brotherhood that you could call on 10 years from now. I still talk to guys from my freshman year, you know, and like Carter Knowlton, you see them, you know, they buy your meal every now and then. It's like, you know, it's just one of those things that you will never lose.
Yeah, I get it.
That's for sure, buddy.
Coach and I graduated together,
Yeah.
and we're both around that 50-year-old mark.
Oh my God.
He is there. He is there.
And I've honestly said so many times that you just gravitate towards football players, whether they're 20 years ahead of you or 5 years that you always have something in common to talk about. You'll find that out, you know, as you get out here.
And even like, I was part of the state championship basketball team. And don't get me wrong, we had a lot of fun in that locker room. But everybody on that team that didn't play football, the guys like Tucker, Chance, we all agreed that no matter how good that locker room was, it was still nothing compared to in here. It's just amazing. Like, it really is.
Yeah, you're right, man. It's truly a brotherhood. And next year, you're gonna miss it bad. It'll slowly get better, but it's slow.
Yeah.
It'll slowly get
I
better.
don't know if it ever gets better.
But yeah, you know, you try to tell these seniors, and you know, you're not guaranteed 10 games in your season. You know, knock on wood, nothing ever happens, and the guy goes out there and gets injured and can't finish the season. But you know, you're never guaranteed that. You know, so if you play every down like it's your last.
It could very well be, you know.
Yeah, trust me. And you talk like you get it, and I'm sure you do, but you don't get it entirely, honestly. And you won't get that feeling until next year when you watch these kids run out on that field and you're standing in the end zone and watching. Sure. Coach, you got anything to add on AJ?
Yeah, you know, well, just speaking of being a senior, I'll tell you what, you don't really realize, and I'm glad to hear you talking about the locker room and the feeling of, you know, how much of a family it is, because you don't realize how much of a family that is until you leave, until you're done, and you can't get that back. But anyhow, you know, mentioned he was number 5, and he's been pretty much starting, I think, pretty much every game as a freshman.
Week 3.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah, so, and you could see as a freshman, right, you know, that he was going to be a heck of a player. Gotten better and better every year, and I think defensively is where he's really, these past 2 years, really come on. Because he's always been a good running back. You know, he's always, you put the ball in his hands, not super fast, but quick. Well, you're not. I'm not viewers here. The thing is, we talk about it all the time as coaches, I'm amazed at his balance. You know, taking shots, standing on his feet. You talk about kickoff returns. He'll take 5 or 6 shots and just bounce off people and keep churning and getting yards.
It's that low center of gravity.
It is.
Carl Crawford last year broke 7 tackles on 1 kickoff.
Right, and that's the way he is running the ball. So you've seen that build up. And he's always, we talked about the team player that he is. He's got big goals. You know, he's mentioned his goals to me, his personal goals. And they're always high and lofty. That's what you want, something to set that you can get. And he's had to take a little bit of back seat once in a while. I had, you know, someone Tucker run the ball or Cooper, and even this year with Jet. But they've come in and they've shared the load. You know, he'll run a couple, maybe let Jet run a couple, because you know we're running out of running backs. Really, I mean that's just the honest truth. But the thing is, he never complains. Always does his job, and always has a smile on his face to him. Like, there's never a time where he's like, man, I want that touchdown, or I should have got that touchdown. He's just happy that we're winning, because like he said, it's a family, it's a brotherhood. So, I know he's going to miss it, but I'm going to miss him more than he knows. Like I said, you know, you get a kid that plays for 4 years in a row, it's sometimes it's like, man, they've been playing for 10 years, it feels like. And that's what these kids do. And we're going to miss him, and wish him nothing but the best of luck, but we still got a lot of games to play, so I look forward to seeing the rest of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have you back on the show here in a couple of weeks. I'm sure we'll have all the seniors back on. So
Yep.
you'll get another chance to speak.
I know.
He did great.
I don't do speeches no more. We all know that.
Well, listen, man, thanks for taking time out of your night and spending with us. Really enjoy talking to you, man. You're a great kid.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate everything you do for us, AJ. Let's take a short break. When we return, we'll go over some of the highlights from last week's Shenandoah Zeps football game. A.J. Rudder gets 15 yards on the ground.
Great blocks up front, creating a big hole for AJ to run through.
Cooper Howe with the Seminoles' first touchdown of the evening.
Cooper bounces outside and takes it in for 6.
A.J. Rudder with another big gain on the ground.
Great blocks from Stein, Corbin, Stiver, and Baker, allowing for the nice pickup.
Cooper Howe to Corbin Farnsworth for a big gain.
Here we hit Corbin on a quick screen, and he does the rest.
Cooper Howe with a 39-yard touchdown run.
Great blocks up front, allows Cooper to go in untouched.
Wyatt Cohen with a touchback on the kickoff.
Wyatt shows off his leg with a long kick into the end zone.
Lucas Stiver and Jay Stevens with a tackle in the backfield.
Great penetration from both players, allowing them to get the stop for a loss.
Cooper Max Denchik for a first down.
Cooper does a great job of eluding the pressure to find Max with a nice gain.
Cason Rice with a fumble recovery.
Great hustle from Casey, getting down the field and jumping on the loose ball.
AJ once again with some tough rushing yards.
Great block from Drew Longfeld and AJ with a powerful run.
Cooper with his third rushing touchdown of the evening.
Once again, great blocking up front, allowing for the easy touchdown.
Drew Longfeld and Braden Snipper with a stop for no gain.
Great pursuit and finish from both players.
Cooper Howe with a long gain.
Great pancake block from Baker, allowing for the long gain on the ground.
Nice throw and catch from Cooper Corbin.
Great catch and running from Corbin.
AJ Rudder with a big gain on the ground.
Here we run a counter and get great blocks from the O-line, allowing for the big gain.
Cooper to Corbin again, down to the 2-yard line.
Cooper throws a nice ball after Corbin ran a great route to get wide open.
Cooper with his fourth and final rushing touchdown of the evening.
Same play, same story. Great blocking from the offensive line.
Lucas Stiver with another stop in the backfield.
Stiver does a great job of taking on the blocks, shedding the block, and getting the stop.
Cooper Howe with a big hit.
Cooper does a great job coming up and making the stick.
Cooper to Max for a 63-yard reception.
Here we run a play action pass, and Cooper has a great pass to Max with a big gain.
A.J. Rudder with a 3-yard touchdown run.
Great blocking once again, allowing for the easy 6 points.
Corbin Farnsworth with the quarterback sack.
Corbin shows off his quickness and gets the sack.
Corbin again with a 4th down stop.
Great hustle and effort from Corbin, allowing him to run the quarterback down from behind.
A.J. with another big gain on the ground.
AJ hits the hold hard and picks up some nice yards.
Jet Kaiser with a hit for no gain.
Jet does a great job of shedding the blocker and getting the tackle.
Lucas Stiver with a strip and fumble recovery.
Stiver with a great effort and a heads-up play.
Corbin Farnsworth with the tackle in the backfield.
Corbin does a great job of maintaining the edge to get the stop.
Congratulations to the 2025 homecoming queen, Carlin Steed. When we return, we will preview this week's opponent, the Toronto Red Knights. Welcome back to the show. Coach, hard to believe we're in week number 8.
Yeah. It
Week
is.
8 already.
It is.
Pretty crazy. Man, time's flown by. And just like AJ said, everything's gone so fast. And
Yeah.
like I said, these seniors, they don't get it now. I know they don't.
No,
They will.
you don't when you're a kid. You
Yeah.
don't get it.
Yeah, you can tell them in week 1, hey,
Yeah.
this is it. Make it last.
Yeah.
And before you know it,
Yeah.
week 10, season's over. But anyway, Coach, week 8 tomorrow night against 6-1 Toronto. They suffered their first loss last week. They're a good football team, a big physical football team, and we got to travel up there.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, honestly, this is a new opponent for us, on the schedule. When we got a few teams dropped us last year, we kind of looked out there and there was a few options, and I didn't want to I wanted to have some teams where, that would give us some points. And this is one of them. They're 6-1. So they're good. They're pretty good. They just got beat this past week, like you said, by a team that we have already seen play against Caldwell, and that team's pretty good. The team that beat them, but yeah, Toronto. They've got some big kids. They got one of their nose guards about 6'4", 290, moves pretty decent. But so far, the teams that have been playing them, kind of Edison and a few other teams, they've lined up and just ran right at them and had success doing that. So I can kind of see us doing the same thing, running at them. We're going to spread them out, do some things, just like we've been doing all year. I mean, like you mentioned, it's week 8. It's not like we can just reinvent ourselves. We can put a few wrinkles in there here and there, and obviously scout them and see what their weaknesses are. But we're finally, I think, getting to a point where we're kind of clicking as far as the line is kind of. A lot of inexperience on there. We've talked about this many times, but they're finally starting to get where they're clicking. Kids been playing in the same spot for 3 or 4 weeks, the injuries, kind of getting some healthy kids, things like that. But yeah, Toronto's a good team, but that's what we want. We want the good teams on the schedule to challenge us, to give us more points, to get us ready for a playoff push. That's I told the kids this week it's pretty much playoffs now for us. I mean, we pretty much got to win out to get into the playoffs. So to me, you got to have that mindset. It's win each week, which don't be wrong, that should be your mindset anyhow, but it's kind of win or go home type of thing at the end of the season. So they know that, they're ready to go. So I look forward to a good game. Never been there to Toronto. I hear it's a nice field, nice facility, so looking forward to it, really.
Yeah.
Besides the bus ride up there.
Yeah, I heard the same. It's a really, really top-notch facility for sure. But yeah, Coach, I mean, if we could pull tomorrow night off, that'd be a major, major win. Really shake up the region.
Yeah.
Last I looked, Toronto was ranked number 11th, and I think we're 21, 22.
I think 18 we're
18 now. Yeah, so this could really shake things up, for certain. But I'm sure you guys will give it your best shot. There's no doubt about that. And these seniors, after talking to AJ, they're all in.
They are.
They're all in. So we'll see what tomorrow night brings, Coach. Let's take a short break, and when we return, we'll talk about some of the game info tomorrow evening. Welcome back, everyone. Tomorrow night's schedule is just like a typical away game, Coach. Home games, we got a whole list of stuff to announce. The stadium, Red Knight Stadium, everybody's got GPS. It's on North River Avenue in Toronto. There is no junior high game this coming week. They will play at home against Caldwell on October 16th. And the youth football playoffs start this weekend. 3rd and 4th grade play against St. Clairsville on October 11th at noon at River. And the 5th and 6th grade play against Cambridge on the 12th at 10 a.m. And that game will be held at Barnesville. So good luck to our youth Noles this coming weekend, Coach. They've been pretty successful for sure. I know you've followed them all season long, so good luck to those kids. Coach, got any final comments?
Yeah, looking forward to this one. Like I said, you kind of see things on your schedule when obviously we schedule, we knew it was going to be a good team, so we've been looking forward to kind of going up there, seeing their facility, seeing what they have, but really this entire week of practice, the kids have been kind of relaxed. We've had good practices. When I say it's been fun, like they're just excited. You know, I mean, there's kind of excitement, and that comes with, you know, getting a couple wins. I mean, wins always help and always cure a few things. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing what they can do with a nice week of practice, heading into this tough game and a tough stretch, really. You know, we've got these last 3 games, and then they mean a lot. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the great thing about it is, Coach, you know, we've won our last 2 games. We've got some confidence. The kids are having fun.
Yes.
Once again, and like AJ mentioned, you know, practice tonight's the funnest he's been a part of, you know, like a serious fun.
Yeah, right, yeah, we're not just messing around.
Yeah.
It's a good time, we're just excited, and it was a high-spirited practice, and things like that. It's been like that all week this week, so.
Yeah, well,
hopefully that translates.
I'm glad they're there, you
Yeah.
know what I mean, because, you know, you start out 1-4, like we did, and things were looking kind of grim, and, you know, spirits were down, and it's glad to see, you know, these kids deserve it.
Heck, yeah.
They deserve what they've earned these past 2 years.
Yeah.
So we'll see what tomorrow night brings, Coach. I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Remember, we'll be here in this same spot next Thursday night at 9 p.m. We'll talk about the game against the Toronto Red Knights, and we'll preview our upcoming opponent, the Cameron Dragons. Go Noles.